Welcome to the Pinch to Zoom podcast. My name is Stetson.
And my name is also Stetson. What?
Plot twist. We have two Stetsons with us here today.
Sorry, gotcha.
Second Stetson.
My name's actually Gabe. And this is the Pinch to Zoom podcast. What do we have up for today, Stetson?
Today we are talking about travel technology, the essential items for taking you from the United States to anywhere else within the United States, to outside, to other countries, between countries.
And the stuff that's also not essential and, you know, it's just kind of nice to have.
Nice to have, or things you just don't need, flat out don't need altogether.
Yeah, throw them out of the plane right now if you're in a plane listening to this and it's in your luggage. Well, maybe don't do that.
Yeah, that's probably not a great idea.
Opening the emergency exit doors while in flight is generally frowned upon.
I have heard that it's frowned upon, and you definitely want to make sure your seatbelt is fastened while you're performing that maneuver. Otherwise, you could get sucked out. So
yeah, like there was that plane where like a panel ripped off and someone got sucked right to the edge of the plane, and they had to
that's scary.
Yeah, because the pressure difference.
Anyway, I think we should start this off with our favorite segment, quick news.
No, we have to talk about who we're not sponsored by, Stetson. Of course.
Oh, I think we should
it's very
sponsored.
important, you know, because these are the people who are not sponsoring us, or the things that are not sponsoring us.
For new listeners, this segment works where we have a shot clock, 30 seconds, to talk about an item, a company, a product we are not sponsored by, because we don't have advertisers and we're not making any revenue off of this. But we thought it would be, we still have products we like and we want to share them.
Yeah, so this is our honest opinions, our honest, straight from our lives. Stetson, you went first last time. I'll go first this time. Fire it up whenever you're ready. Clock.
Actually, I can't. I don't know how to get 30 seconds on an iPhone, so I'm just going to hit start, and then I'll just let you know when you're up.
That works.
Ready?
And
begin.
I can go. I'd like to say that we're not sponsored by Rode mics. Yes, we're recording this on Rode mics, and we both own a couple Rode mics. But the thing, honestly, yeah, they make good microphones, but the best thing about them is their customer service and support. They really stand behind their products. They offer a 10-year warranty, and they will get back to you and replace stuff even, a year or two after you bought the product, if it's just a minor cable or something. So if you need a microphone, check out Rode mics. They got your back.
Well timed, 30 seconds.
Boom.
Well done.
It's like I planned it out. All right, Stetson.
Yeah. Was that scripted?
No, that was most definitely not scripted, because I don't do that sort of preparation.
Okay.
So, are you ready? I got the timer ready for you. I'm so ready.
I actually have to think of a product. You hit go, and I'll grab the nearest thing to me.
Oh boy, this is going to just go great. And
here we go. I'm ready.
3, 2, Stetson, you're on.
All right, here we go. You work hard. You deserve to be rewarded. I have with me here the bright, crisp, red, smooth Staples Easy button. Reward yourself with satisfaction and accomplishment. You did work, and it was... Oh my god, the batteries are corroded. Oh my god. Yeah, so Staples, life is easy. It's a great button. You work hard. You deserve it. Change the batteries.
Sponsored by not sponsored by changing batteries, I think is what that's not sponsored by.
I really like Energizer for anyone out there. Energizer Recharge.
Though I will say, going non-brand name battery is often a good way to save money, and they're pretty identical. Energizer and what's the other brand? I don't even know.
Duracell.
Yeah, they might be slightly better, but it's amazing how much cheaper non-brand name batteries are, like Best Buy's Insignia or Walmart brand batteries. Rechargeable is just the way to go, honestly.
Yeah, my thing is get yourself a nice set of rechargeable batteries and you're basically set. That's what I've done. It's worked for me. It'll work for you. That is our not sponsored segment.
Now we're moving on to quick news. First up, we're going to talk about E3, just a quick follow-up, because on our last episode, we did mention that E3 was right around the corner.
As in, immediately after we stopped recording.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. There unfortunately wasn't too much as far as substance and really big groundbreaking announcements. As far as EA is concerned, or E3, not EA. Well, also as far as
EA was at E3.
Yeah, and wow, there's too many of those similar names. And yeah, EA talked about, their new Star Wars game. Wasn't too groundbreaking. The biggest thing, honestly, was Cyberpunk 2077 by Microsoft and Keanu Reeves coming out on stage. That got the whole crowd going. Look up the meme, "No, You're Beautiful," and you'll get
a chuckle out of that.
You'll get a chuckle. Keanu Reeves is really just a special human being. Really supposedly great to be around and actually down-to-earth human. So that was...
Sweet. So Gabe, what else did we see at E3 besides Keanu Reeves?
Not much, honestly. It was pretty much just Keanu Reeves that's all we got from E3. No, there was Project Scarlet from Microsoft, which is their next-gen console. It's not coming out till 2020, so we didn't get...
They pre-announced something that's
right?
a year out in development. What are they doing?
I honestly am not quite sure. I think they both, because Sony has come out and announced some introductory like hinting at specs for their PS5, which is their next gen console. They're it's this war of oh, this is what we're gonna do. Oh, this is what we're gonna do, to try to already start winning market share of products that aren't released yet. So I don't know how beneficial it is, but it's exciting to look at. It looks like that it's going to support 8K gaming, frame rates up to 120 FPS, and Microsoft's going all in on SSD, which honestly is a pretty awesome thing because way better to have SSD than a hard drive.
Absolutely. SSDs, they tremendously speed up the performance of computers. I'm excited to see them coming to consoles, even though we're both not huge gamers. But I do think game enthusiasts and gamers will really enjoy both of these consoles once they do become official. But Gabe, how do you feel about pre-announcing something? It would be like if we heard about the new iPhone now, and we heard about the new Samsung phone now, but they weren't out until the fall.
Well, one could say we kind of do, because all the leaks and rumors that I honestly think Apple and Samsung are just happy to, play into. But I think
their marketing teams just sit back and do nothing.
It is. That's all the free press they need right there. But I do think it's a little different because cell phone and smartphone cycles are yearly, whereas video game consoles are actually, of anything, they're one of the longest refresh cycles, even more than even further out than cameras and drones and microphones. Even it's usually 5 to 7 years between console versions.
Absolutely. I think you're right. Will these new consoles deter any gamers from buying the current systems that are out on the market?
That's really possibly, but if you're looking at buying a new system, you're most likely going to just want it now. Because also, like I said, it's such a long refresh cycle that if you buy something now, you know that it's going to still be good, even if they release the next gen console, that the one that you buy now is going to still be good for 5 to 10 years.
And if you do decide to get the new consoles, you'll be happy to know they are backwards compatible, so you can enjoy games now and then upgrade down the road. So,
yep, that's also a good thing. And for Halo fans, they also did announce Halo Infinite, which is going to be launching alongside Project Scarlet in 2020. So still a long ways out, but I know there are a lot of Halo fans out there. I wasn't one of them. I'm not against it, but I just not a big third-person shooter type fan.
You mean first-person shooter?
First-person. No, it is first-person. You're both. Right, yeah. I think you can. Wow, we are really... Let's move on to the next thing.
Moving on.
The next thing is the used Tesla Model 3s are now for sale. Stetson, that sounds like a pretty good deal, is it?
It sounds like a good deal, but remarkably, unlike other cars we're seeing on the market, Tesla is proving to hold their value actually better than a lot of other vehicles. So it's great that used cars are available. The Tesla Model 3 is still expensive, and I'm seeing used prices starting at around $40,000. So that's around the base price for a new Model 3. Just depends what kind of specs you're looking for and what your specific build is going to be.
Well, okay, so that's good and bad for people looking to buy a Model 3, because it means if you buy a Model 3, I probably just peaked my mic right there. I was so excited. If you buy a Model 3, you know that it's going to hold its value. But also, if you want to buy a Model 3 and you don't quite have enough to buy a new one, it's not going to save you much to buy a used one.
I think what's interesting to me is the pricing between a used Model S and some of these Model 3s are actually getting quite similar depending on how many miles the Model S has. I think it's a very interesting market. You kind of have more options to choose from depending on what your budget is. And certainly the prices are coming down, which is great for people who are looking for more affordable electric vehicles, specifically Teslas.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Model S there. I think I also saw that there was some Model S and Model X's spotted that look to be slightly different from the current ones, and people are speculating that there are refreshes around the corner of both the Model S and the Model X, which would make sense because it's been a while since those were released, and since then, now the Model 3, completely spec'd out, almost is better than a Model S because it has like the newer tech, all the better screens and stuff like that.
Yeah, that really wouldn't surprise me at all. The one thing I will say is making changes to the manufacturing process can potentially slow down production. I think it's something Tesla's going to have to handle carefully. But like you said, Gabe, I mean, the Model 3 spec'd out does come packed and loaded with the newest technology. It makes sense that Tesla would want to update their more premium vehicles to reflect changes in the industry and the market and what they're able to provide.
All right, so moving on, we have DJI released a new product.
Oh my God, Gabe!
I know.
What is this product? So
And
DJI,
unfortunately,
they make drones, they make cameras.
It is not a product that I have pre-ordered or ordered at all.
Gabe,
I
I'm
will
so
go on the
surprised.
record of saying I have ordered and I own probably out of the last 10 products DJI has released, I think I own 8 or 9 of them.
And ladies and gentlemen, he is looking around his room right now, spotting each.
I'm a dignified or not dignified, certified, and a dignified. I'm pretty dignified. I'm a certified DJI fanboy, you can say. I like everything
shopping
they
cart
release.
material right there.
I know. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, this one they don't got me because they released. It is a drone, but it's called the Robomaster S1, and it's kind of like a battle bot designed to drive around and either have battles with your friends where you shoot invisible infrared beams at their robots, or you shoot actual little gel pellets at their robots. So
it's like Nerf, but for robots.
It's kind of DJI has an annual Robomaster robotics competition where they had teams come together of usually like high school students or so, and they'd build their own robots, program them, design them and stuff. So this is kind of meant to get into the education sector, which is definitely a big sector. You see Google, Microsoft, Apple all make moves towards that sector and that area. But yeah, I'm not in that area really, so it doesn't appeal much to me. It does have FPV, camera on board. It has 4-wheel drive, but yeah, not something that does it for me. Maybe if you're into robotics or into coding and stuff like that, you might be into this, but for $500, it's a pass for me.
It does seem fascinating that it is more geared towards education. The robot itself actually comes disassembled. It's like you're buying a grown-up Lego kit. You actually have to take these parts, follow the instructions, and build your robot before you can use it. And, as you mentioned, Gabe, you can choose to add custom code, I believe using Python and maybe some other languages.
Yeah, I think scratch coding.
And this can enhance your robot's features and functionality. It's a really cool project. I could see this for anyone who's into coding or robotics or that industry, maybe something to check out. And in terms of the physical robot itself, I think this thing is freaking cool. It's imagine your car, right? It's parked in the driveway. Normally people go forward or backwards. The way this robot is designed, the wheels, it basically can just shoot sideways. I recommend checking out some videos on YouTube of the DJI Robomaster S1 rolling around. It is bananas how this thing can maneuver, even if you're not going to get it.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm less pleased with it because I like the more creative tools that DJI releases, and this is more of a the computer space and like the coding space, and for people looking to get into technology and that, like actually the more functional aspects of it. So, but yeah, it's them going into a different field, but it really marks the last 3 products, I guess, that DJI released have all been non-drones. And there doesn't look to be anything on the horizon of them releasing any new aerial platforms in this year, possibly. There's a rumor that we might not see any new drones out from them until 2020 because they released or announced their upcoming integration or system platform called AirSense, which would allow pilots of drones to be able to see, oh, there's a helicopter flying nearby, I should stay out of the way of that, or, oh, there's a plane coming in, and also the reverse, it would allow planes or helicopters to view the DJI drones on their radar maps, I'm pretty sure. And with that announcement, they said every new drone we release after 2020 will have this integrated. Why would they say that if they were going to still release it? That would kind of undercut the announcement if then they release a drone in 2019 that doesn't have it.
That doesn't have these features. That would seem somewhat unreasonable. I heard, are they planning to release the Mavic Air 2?
I mean, there's been rumors around that, and also the Spark 2, and it could make sense if that didn't have this AirSense, because both of those drones are aimed more at consumers, beginners, and just recreational flyers rather than professionals. So I could see that, and they're both, under 1,000. We'll have to see, really. I mean, I would bet that they'd release it either in late July or August, because you want to have it out for the holiday season, and you also want to release it and still give people time to fly it in summer or fall in North America.
Right. It's where the weather's nice. It's probably where a percentage of DJI's market is, and they want to be able to capitalize off of that.
Yeah, but this is quick news, so we're moving on next. Apple has now committed to supposedly using OLED displays on more of their devices, Stetson?
Yes, I put this one in. So what's happening is Apple has a contractual agreement with Samsung. Samsung's manufacturing.
Wait, why? Because these are Apple devices. Stop talking about Samsung.
Samsung manufactures the OLED displays that are in your iPhone.
I know. Isn't that, I always thought that was the craziest thing, that Samsung, Apple's competitor in the smartphone space, makes both the screens and I think a couple other parts they used to make.
They make SSDs in the MacBook Pros. They make a few other things. It's a very fascinating agreement. But what's happening here is Apple said, hey, we're going to need this many OLED displays. And I think at the beginning or towards the fall when the new iPhones came out, you probably saw like the numbers weren't there. Apple wasn't selling as many as they were expecting. So basically, Apple they agreed to purchase a certain number of OLED displays from Samsung, and they didn't meet their quota. So to meet this quota, they're simply going to start putting these OLED displays in more of their devices. This could include iPads and their laptops, the MacBook Pros, MacBook Airs, and MacBooks that they're selling. So we can see.
So I'm chucking out my MacBook Pro. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right, Gabe. Expect it to be outdated. Now, we really don't know for sure, but this is, I think, reasonably plausible given the agreement that Apple has with Samsung and the new advances in technology that we're making with OLED displays and kind of the high contrast and vibrancy that they're making.
Yeah, I like the look of OLED displays. Not everyone is on board with them, but that'll be interesting. It's a funny way that we're getting OLED screens in more Apple devices through this kind of like weird contractual business deal that they had.
I think we'll see it in all the new iPhones they release this fall. We'll probably see the end of the LCD displays. But yeah, that would make sense to me. And, I think the displays are great. So,
well, speaking about smartphones and stuff like that, one thing we had just released an app is Wizards Unite, which you might be like, this is weird, right?
Gabe, this is weird.
Yeah. Well, if you can you think of any famous boy wizard?
Well, there was this guy, I'm struggling. He had a scar on his forehead, I want to say.
Yeah, I think you're close.
God, I'm just thinking like
Merlin, you're right. Yep, exactly. Merlin. No, Harry Potter. You might remember Pokemon Go released about 2 years back by this company called Niantic. Actually, 3 years back, I think now. This is now the follow-up game to that, and it's based around where Pokemon Go is based around Pokemon. This is based around the Harry Potter world. And so, yeah, it's a similar game. It's based on the points of interest of their popular game Ingress. So, churches, post offices, landmarks, stuff like that. And I don't know, it's not as good as Pokemon Go. I downloaded it yesterday or the day before and started playing it. It's not as appealing, not as cute animations and stuff like that. But if you really like Harry Potter and are looking for something to play on your phone and get you out walking around enjoying the summer weather, this is kind of a fun thing to mess around with. Yeah, that's about it for that.
It sounds interesting. I know I will not be getting it, but
oh man,
I'm glad it's out there.
Give it a chance. Get out there. You have to go Expecto Patronus.
Yeah, wait, what do you do in Pokemon Go? You catch Pokemon.
I think it's something that I'm not really sure. Honestly, I'm so confused. It's
New
something.
player.
It's something to do with
like
undoing confundables or something like that, and like I don't know. You're going around and you find these monsters or these charmed things, and you instead of throwing a Pokeball, you have to drag your finger on the screen to follow the path to cast the spell correctly. It's not as appealing, but hey, I always like kind of real world interactive games, and it gives an idea of what once AR takes off, what games might possibly look like.
I think this company is doing a great job showcasing the future of AR and its potential and some of its capabilities, and I think we'll see it become more and more refined in the future.
And the last thing in quick news is another medium format camera.
Gabe, weren't we just talking about this?
Well, we were talking about the Fujifilm, the 100 megapixel camera. This one is a 50 megapixel camera from Hasselblad, which actually coincidentally is owned partially by DJI, but this has nothing to do with DJI. This is called the X1D II, so it's the second one, and it's a medium format sensor with, as I said, 50 megapixels.
This is a really high quality camera. And Gabe, what makes Hasselblad so great? Like, why would DJI want to take partial ownership in a camera company?
It's really their lenses that people really go crazy over. And honestly, just the general design of their cameras. Their cameras have a premium feel, which really you just can't find anywhere else in any cameras. Unfortunately, you pay for it heavily. This is a $5,000 camera at least, and a $5,000 lens you can get to go with it. So, yeah, not for the faint of heart.
You're paying about $11,500.
Yes,
to get the camera body and one lens for this camera.
But it does shoot 16-bit color and 14-stop dynamic range, which is pretty huge. It also has dual SD slots and a nice touchscreen on the back, which is good that they're modernizing it.
I think this is going to be a great camera for the few professionals who are looking for this.
Definitely for photography, not a video camera.
It's for photo, and I think it's going to perform great for that if you have that $11,000 just kind of lying around.
Yep. Just go buy a nice medium format camera. But
Gabe, I think it's time. We got to pack our bags.
They're probably not the best actually to bring on a trip. Most likely a medium format camera.
You're probably right.
Because
it's expensive.
They're kind of bulky because they do have that larger sensor. Even the smaller ones,
huge.
So, what would you think is a good camera to bring with you when you go traveling?
So I have a couple different thoughts on this. First is, I think most obviously your cell phone.
Yeah, right? I think most people are going to bring that anyway. So, boom, you already have a really good camera.
You have a great cell phone. Cameras have been getting so great over these past few years, and honestly, it's portable. You have it with you. It's really good. The one thing I will say is I was testing out a wide angle lens from Rhino Shield and also from Sandmark, and I think, if you have a new phone, like the Galaxy S10, that's got 3 lenses built into it: wide, regular, telephoto. That is awesome for capturing all the different moments. If you're like me, you're stuck with an iPhone XS, only has a dual lens system right now.
Oh, Stetson, that is pathetic. Get out
I know,
of here.
this is so 2018. Am I right?
Yeah.
I should just throw this thing out.
Really?
Anyway, if you want to get a wider range of shots, I really think getting a wide angle lens for your phone is a reasonable option. They're only like $100, and I used it quite a lot. It was great for landscapes and surprisingly for selfies. You can now, instead of using the lower quality front-facing camera, you can flip your phone around, use that wide-angle lens, and be sure to get you and everyone else in the frame with that selfie shot. So I think, that's what I was using on the go. I had my iPhone, I had my wide-angle lens, and I think it really helped me kind of capture all the different moments while I was traveling.
Yeah, I agree that smartphones are pretty good, and like you said, there's also Moment makes very good lenses. You can get even telephoto lenses or macro lenses, so plenty of options there. But personally, you mentioned wide angle, and I really think GoPros are a good travel camera. Now, I know we've been over before. You aren't a fan of action cameras. You're not a fan of GoPros, and that's a personal thing. I know plenty of people who just hate the look of the GoPro fisheye lens. But when I'm traveling, I also oftentimes need to be on my phone. I need to be, getting directions, checking this, checking that, whatever it is, booking flights. So I don't really want to have to be, if I set up a time lapse or something, have to be using my phone. GoPros are nice because they're a dedicated camera that's small, rugged, very versatile, and of very good quality, and connects easily to your phone. So if you don't have a laptop or a computer, you can still connect it to your phone, transfer the images, share them over social media, and yeah, they're going to look good, and it's going to be able to do everything from swimming underwater to taking a time lapse of the night sky.
Gabe, I have a question for you. Are you using your GoPro for video or for photo?
I use it for both, but it definitely, I think, shines more with video. I don't know. It goes back and forth. You can use it for both, really, but ultimately, it's, I think, just a fun tool to have if you're doing anything that, is somewhat active, whether it's biking, paragliding, just hanging out at the beach, It's easy to chuck in a bag. You don't have to worry about it getting wet or something or getting damaged. It's very rugged. And yeah, they really, with the Hero 7, GoPro has pretty much reached the perfection of the action camera.
I think those are great points. It's so portable, you can just throw it in there. All right, so my question for you is, I was just traveling in Sweden, Denmark, Iceland. I saw a lot of different people with their solutions for capturing images, and a lot of people had selfie sticks, both with their phones and with GoPros. Gabe, what is your take on selfie sticks? Are these worth it? Is this something people should be traveling with? What are your thoughts on the selfie stick invention?
I really am not a fan of selfie sticks. I'm sorry. I think that they just scream tourist. And honestly, a lot of places have actually, like concerts and venues, have banned them. I'm pretty sure Disneyland actually banned them. Not positive about that. Don't fact check me. But I know Lollapalooza banned them. Pokemon Go Fest banned them. So yeah, they're becoming very unpopular. Museums have banned them because people have knocked over stuff taking selfies. Like, yeah, they're just obnoxious, I think. They're also so 2014, 2015. Really, either get a wide angle lens so you can just hold it out with your arm, take a photo, or get a tripod that you can set up, like a Joby tripod, take a timed photo, or last but not least, go the old school way and just ask someone there to take a photo of you. And make sure to ask someone who doesn't look like they can run fast, so if they do try to steal your phone or your camera, that you can easily catch them.
I think those are excellent points, and I just wholeheartedly agree. The selfie stick it's not where it's at. I think it looks ridiculous, it's goofy, and not only that, you're taking all of your photos, you're capturing all of these memorable moments with that lower quality front-facing camera. I really think getting someone to take a photo of you with that rear-facing camera, which is significantly higher quality on your phone or, on your GoPro, I think that's worth it. A little bit of human connection, you'll get that better image. Or I was using the wide-angle lenses on my trip, just held my arm out, and that was plenty of space to capture everything in the moment.
Just think about growing, like when you go to bed each night, just think, my arms will get longer, and eventually your arms will grow out long enough so you can be like Elastic Woman or someone like that, and just boom, just get a drone shot with your arms.
And it's more portable. Your arm is with you at all times. You can't forget it.
Oh no, I forgot mine when I took my last trip, actually to New York City.
Okay, so maybe set a reminder, or maybe get like a tile and track it. But they're pretty great.
Like sometimes I find if I tie my arms together, like I won't forget one, right? I'll remember both of them. So that's one good way.
So if you have one, then you'll have the other one.
Yeah, exactly. Or just make sure to recharge your batteries though on your arms too.
Those are great.
But speaking of recharging, actually, one thing I think is really essential for traveling is a USB battery pack.
I wholeheartedly
That's about it.
agree.
I don't think you could disagree.
This is it. If you don't have one of these, what are you doing? You should be buying one.
Yeah. Now they come in a variety of sizes. If you're new to them, they measure them in milliamp hours. It's mAh. 5,000.
And what does that mean for me?
Basically, your phone that you have in your pocket is anywhere from like 3,000 to 4,000 most likely. So if you buy a battery pack that's 5,000, that means you can recharge your phone about 1.5 times, and that's about the entry level for these battery packs. A higher one, like a 20,000 one, will run you most likely like anywhere from like $40 to $60, and can recharge your phone several times, and also possibly recharge a camera, iPad, stuff like that.
This is an absolute essential, I think, while traveling. You definitely want to be careful about which one you go for. Being able to recharge your phone 6 or 8 times with a 22,000 milliamp hour battery is great. It is kind of heavy, and you're going to want to be careful with that. And personally, I own a battery pack from Rav Power. That's worked really great for me.
Rav Power is pretty good. Anchor is another popular brand. As we mentioned before, Nimble. If you want to go more greener option, they're a little more expensive, but they're made all from recycled plastic and like better for the earth. So yeah, help your consciousness out.
They're great. You'll guaranteed use it on your next trip.
One thing from Anchor I have found that's especially nice for traveling is they have, I can't remember what it's called, which would be very helpful for this podcast so that you could actually look it up. But it is basically like a USB adapter to plug into the wall, but it also has a battery pack built in. So, you plug it in, plug your device into charge like you would from the wall. While it's charging, it's also charging up the battery pack in that USB power adapter. And then when you're ready to go, you can just unplug it out and your phone can keep charging, or you can just save it for another time.
It's really great. And, kind of on this charging theme, I would suggest considering a quick charger. When you're traveling, you don't want to spend time waiting for your phone to charge. Having a quick charger means you can get juiced up faster, be ready to go, and you'll probably be doing a lot of navigating and things that drain your battery. So being able to get juiced up quickly, I think saves time and will just help you have more time to experience. What do you mean by
quick charger? Just for people who don't know.
So basically, phones these days are coming with the ability to be quick charged or fast charged. There's different language for it. And what this means is instead of using the charging brick that came in the box, you can get either special battery banks or special power bricks that are a larger wattage. So you typically get like a 5-watt power brick. You can instead get a 30-watt power brick, and it'll charge your phone from 0 to 50% in like 15 to 30 minutes.
The only thing is you do want to be careful to make sure your phone can support it. I know like a more conservative one is like possibly like a 12 to 18 watt power brick. That's most phones can still handle that, even if they aren't the fastest charging phones. So just look at what the phone's manufacturer says about it, so you're not like hurting your battery or possibly causing a fire.
This is true. You don't want to cause any fires, especially when you're on an airplane.
Unless you're
like
going
that.
to actually, you need to start a fire for like camping trip.
Maybe you're.
I recommend grabbing a 60-watt iPhone iPad charger and just actually cutting the cord nicely, and then just sparking the two wires together. It's beautiful, nice smoke. It's like that melting plastic smell, and then boom, you got a fire instantly.
That's a classic way. I have some friends who've actually used the Galaxy Note 7. You can find those for pretty cheap these days.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like a one-time use, so you're not getting a whole lot of value out of it. But
those are an amazing fire starter, though.
I mean, the display of fireworks you get when you're just lighting that fire is something else, something I've never seen before.
Yeah, really no smartphone has come with quite as good of an ability to start a fire, and that's kind of surprising.
I'm surprised they didn't use that in their marketing materials more. Maybe I missed it, but
Survival kit, package it in.
It's great. It's been working well for that.
Well, jokes aside, yeah, hopefully no one is still using a Samsung Note 7. Otherwise, wow, I'm props to you that you haven't caught on fire yet.
You've got courage.
We've talked a lot about, cables, traveling, charging stuff. What do you carry all this in, for one?
So this is a great question. I have two ideas around this. One, plastic bags. The reason you can see what cable is in which bag, and it prevents them from tangling. What I actually use, I do use plastic bags for like organizing my stuff at home, but for traveling, I have this old headphone case. It's on the floor beside me. Audio-Technica, it's like a hard shell headphone case. Headphones broke, so I threw those out, but the case was still good, and I literally just chuck everything in there. This way, everything is contained. It's not in different parts of my bag, like sprawling out or getting lost or misplaced. Everything has a home. It can just go in there, and I know where it is. It's like a dedicated little bag for all my charging gear. What do you use, Gabe?
I personally am a big fan of these little. They have them at Staples, sometimes in the tech departments at like Target. They're kind of like little, like coin purses. So they're kind of like that, where they have that opening where you pinch it in from the sides and it opens up. But usually they're cloth and maybe like 4 inches by 4 inches or something like that. I use stuff like that to put my cables in. Also, the company Peak Design has some really nice tech pouches or camera pouches or little pouches for packing and traveling that are perfect for putting wires in. So look at different, brands out there that make bags, and you can often find more and more, because they know people are having to carry a lot of technology and, wires with them, that more and more they're making these smaller packable things that you can put stuff in so that you can easily know, here's all my wires, instead of where are all my wires? One's over here, one's over there, one's wrapped around that tree over there. Yeah.
So my question for these little pinch pouches, do you have one per cable, or are you just kind of like stuffing as many as you can in one of these pouches?
I generally will try to put a couple of all right, if I need 2 or 3 lightning cables, I'll put them in one, and then I'll have, all right, or this is all my cables for my phones and mobile devices. Here's all my cables for my cameras. So I kind of divide them up a little bit, but it's more just so they're grouped together and not every which way.
The grouping is the strategy. Wholeheartedly agree. And I had no idea Peak Design had those. I considered checking those out. I think they're a pretty good company. So Gabe, you have all these cables, and you have all our stuff. Got to put them in a bag. What bags are you using while you travel?
I mean, we're already on Peak Design, so let's stay there for now. I like their messenger bag. You have their backpack. They're if you want to talk about good company, they're, donate 1% back to the earth. They stand behind their product like Rode, where they're, I don't know what their warranty is, but it's at least 5 years, I think. It's
strong warranty period.
Yeah, it's one of those products. Yes, it's more expensive, but every person I've seen using their bags out in the wild, quote unquote wild,
the wilderness,
out in, here we go. We got a rogue user, camera photographer. Oh, and what is he? He's sporting a Peak Design bag. You don't see many like these out here today. No, but you actually don't. I've seen more and more as they've gotten more popular, and people have started to realize, yeah, they might be, $250 for a backpack or a, messenger bag, but that's going to last you rather than maybe a year. That could last you 3 or 4 years, 5 years, possibly 10.
You're buying a product to last. What I love about Peak Design too is they're designed with photographers and filmmakers in mind. So they have dedicated spots to fit your camera if you choose to bring a dedicated point and shoot. But their bags are also flexible. They have a modular system. So if you need something else, you need to accommodate it for a different purpose, you can easily rearrange the compartments and kind of restructure the bag to fit the belongings that you're bringing with you. And I know I had to do this with my trip. I restructured the interior of my bag, made it super easy to jam everything I needed in there. And yeah, I think it works out great. And whether you're a photographer or not, I think Peak Design is excelling at their bags, their design, the quality of their products, and they're worth checking out.
No, yeah, I agree. But one thing that I would be remiss to not mention when we're talking about bags or stuff to carry your gear is a Pelican case. Now,
Ooh.
I am someone who does not travel light.
Wait, Gabe. So this is a case to carry a bird? Is that?
Yeah. Of course, Stetson. I mean, duh. I'm not going to pack my Pelican case in my heron bag. Like, obviously not. Only
Sorry,
an idiot
that was
would do
a
that.
Dumb question.
Okay. But anyways, I don't travel light. You know, I always think, oh, let me just pack a couple things. No, I end up with a 40-pound backpack, you know, a 50-pound maxed out luggage, and then another carry-on. So the Pelican,
Gabe's packing when he packs.
I'm packing, man. I'm coming with everything I got. So I usually will have, I'll have my carry-on, my personal bag, as I call it, for flying, which is usually my Peak Design messenger bag. And that is what I stow under the seat in front of me. And then for my carry-on luggage, I'll actually usually bring my Pelican case, which is, there's various sizes for them, but basically it's a hard shell case that has foam on the insides, and you latch it shut. And it's very good at protecting what you put in it, basically, you know. And I bring it on as a carry-on because I'm not comfortable, you know, putting a drone and a, you know, camera that total possibly over $5,000-$6,000 in the luggage and checking it and letting it just go through wherever, you know.
It goes on its own journey down there. We don't know what happens in the abyss of the airport terminals.
I do not like that. So I say, nope, you're coming with me. It has nice wheels on it, a little handle, the one I got, and I wheel it around with me. I've put all the stickers on it from the various products I've received. So I'm wheeling it around and people are like, yo, this guy looks like he's a professional like DJ or photographer or something. Kids are like, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not, but whatever. Think whatever you want. I feel cool and I look cool, and that's all that really matters, right? It's not about the functionality. No, it is about the functionality. Most importantly, I've never had any issues with it breaking. I've had it for over 6-7 years now, this Pelican case, and I've used it on all my trips. The only thing I would mention is I have a friend who's shorter than me. I'm 6'5". She's about 4'10", so substantially shorter. And she got a similar case. And the problem she has is a lot of times they ask her to, when she gets to the, you know, the gate to board the plane, they'll say, oh, you got to put it underneath, you know, they check it at the luggage ramp and you'll get it when you come back. And I've had to do that, I think, once. I'm never comfortable with it. But the thing with me is I think because I'm taller, they don't think that the Pelican case is as big as it is. And so I get away with bringing this bigger case in, where she, because she's only 4'10", they look at that and they're like, oh my gosh, that's a huge, you know, case. She can't bring that on the plane. And they make her put it underneath.
That's something I would not have expected. How much is a Pelican case? How do they compare with some of the other options we talked about?
They're definitely more expensive, and you don't have to. Pelican's not the only brand out there. I just want to say, you know, there's a company called Nanook that's pretty good. GPC is good for if you're looking for specifically for something for drones or a DJI product or something like that. The one I have, I think, cost me around $215 or so. They're generally in that range of the high, like $175 to $250, $300. But they are, like I said, if you're carrying gear that's worth a couple $1,000s, it's worth it to have something, and you travel a lot, it's worth it to have something that's, you know, can protect your stuff.
Pelican cases will protect your investments. I think they're waterproof too, right? Like some of them, if they would just float down a river or whatever.
Yeah, they're waterproof. They're usually have a pressure gauge in them or something, so they're, you know, they keep pressurized, and yeah, they really there's a reason that a lot of professionals use them for gear, and they last. That's the thing.
For professionals at traveling and not necessarily at photography or video work, I actually was just gifted the Away luggage. And, you know, as someone who's a more casual traveler, I think Away is a really compelling option. Like Gabe and I talked about with the external battery banks, what makes Away special is they have a rechargeable battery bank built into the luggage so you can stay juiced up while you're traveling. And they're durable, they're well built. They have, great design, great warranty, great return policy. You can travel for the first 100 days, and if anything comes up, they say you can just return it. So I really enjoyed using that luggage while I was traveling. If you need something for your clothes or something more casual, you can consider checking Away out. But yeah, that's that's kind of what I was rocking. I was walking my Peak design backpack for my carry-on, my away luggage for the big bulky stuff that I checked.
Yeah,
on the
and I
plane.
just want to mention with the away luggage, they are very expensive compared to other suitcases.
They're up there. I think it's kind of like Peak, though. I feel like you do kind of get what you pay for.
Well, I think it's that, but also I would say that, consider, all right, if you go to, I personally, TJ Maxx has been where I bought a lot of my suitcases because they're generally very cheap. If you buy, a TJ Maxx bag or say you order it online, Samsonite even, and, get it on sale. If you buy that and then you may have to replace it after a year or two, that's going to, the costs add up. Whereas if, all right, you buy an away bag, they have a 100-day trial period, but they also have a lifetime warranty. So they're really standing behind their product. So if it ever does break or something, you got a new bag coming to you. So it's really one of those things where you buy it and it's meant to last. And that's, hopefully that'll save you money over time. And also they look nice and they're, how'd you like it, Stetson?
I loved it. I thought the wheels were so smooth. I was just able to glide through the airport. It had a exterior shell that was very hard and robust. It had 2 compartments on the inside, one for clothes that you could compress down, one for larger, bulkier items that you could just zipper shut. And this is cool, it has a laundry bag. So when you have dirty clothes, instead of just having them sit and mix in and mingle with your clean clothes, you can zipper them up in this dedicated laundry bag, keep your clean clothes clean, and keep your dirty laundry contained. It was, I really had fun traveling with it. It was cool having such a great experience, and their branding is on point.
Yeah, they're not a tech company, but they kind of market themselves. They're kind of like an All Brands or I don't know what other companies. What other companies? Can you think of any?
Any companies that what?
That are kind of that similar like tech marketing, but not a tech company.
I guess the ones I see in my feed are like Allbirds. They're really good at
Allbirds. That's what I meant, not All Brands.
I was like, maybe Brandless. They're food shopping.
Quip is kind of like that
Quip,
too.
yeah. Like aggressive online I don't know. Away is one of the products I've been very happy with that I heard a lot about. And I
think that's also if you travel a lot.
If you travel a lot, absolutely. Like if you are just going on a trip once in a while, you can totally rock. I have another case from TJ Maxx. It works great. It'll get the job done. And that's it.
And Gabe, for photographers, I just want to, before we move on to other stuff, I think if you're doing the more rugged stuff, I would look at the low pro cases. I've had pretty good success with their cases. They're rugged. They hold up to any abuse you have, and they have a lot of different designs, so you can get really the bag or backpack that you need to fit, whether you're going out like hiking, serious hiking, or you're just taking day trips and you want a bag that's going to withstand some rain or something like that.
Yeah, I buy bags and then I bring them home and then I abuse them. Step on them, I zipper them. It was just funny. You said it could withstand abuse, and I just thought of that.
Oh yeah, I'm BDSM with my bags.
Okay, Gabe, we're on the airplane.
Hold on, I just have to have a rant. Personally,
whoa, new segment. Gabe rants.
No, don't make me rant about us having too many segments. So this isn't even a segment. This is just me wanting to rant about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. Spotify. Now,
Gabe, what's wrong with Spotify?
Now you might be thinking, where are you going? Is the design wrong? My problem with Spotify and other streaming platforms is how they pay the artists. Now, the whole system of paying artists has really just been hacked in the past year or so by this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him, called Lil Nas X.
Sounds like a speed boost for a car.
Unless you're really into pop music and hip hop in that zeitgeist, you probably haven't heard it, but I'll sing a little bit. It's like, let me take you down to the old town road. I wanna. Yeah, that's about all I'm going to sing so we don't get claimed. He had this song called Old Town Road that was released. It was a crossover type hit, mainly hip hop, but had a definite country twang, especially when they released a remix with Billy Ray Cyrus. But that's not, we don't care really about the music. What we care about is the format and how long they are. Guess how long Old Town Road was?
3 minutes. That's what I think.
No, a minute 51.
Okay, under 2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes. Now, most songs are at least 3 minutes. Sometimes you'll get a song that's kind of short and it's like 2:50. Some songs are even longer. I mean, you had Kanye West, I forget what was his song, On the Life of Pablo. I think, wasn't there a song 7 minutes, 8 minutes? Like, yeah, there's some real artists out there pushing songs 4 or 5 minutes. And the problem that with Spotify, I'm getting back to Spotify, don't you worry, is that Spotify only pays per listen. They don't pay how much is listened. They pay, all right, you listen to half the song, that's 1 listen. You listen to 2 times through the song, that's 2 listens. They don't pay, oh, you listen to 8 minutes of Kanye and only 1 minute and 51 seconds of Lil Nas X. If you listen to Lil Nas X 8 times, and that's only, like 16, 15 minutes, and you listen to Kanye West song twice, and that's, 16, 15 minutes, that's eight times pay, which is, I think they pay like 0.043 cents per stream for Lil Nas X, and only 2 of those pays for Kanye. Now, granted, it's not about whether Kanye needs the money or not. It's about that the system is being hacked by artists like Lil Nas X, who just released a brand new album, and guess what? Only 2 songs are over 2 minutes and 30 seconds long.
So it sounds like you're saying artists can game the system by releasing shorter songs that receive more plays overall than some of the other artists, pouring their heart and soul and effort into longer songs that are potentially higher quality. They're just not getting compensated in the same way.
Not even necessarily that they're higher quality or not. It's just like it's you're creating a full length film versus a little song. But it doesn't end there. The thing, and I'm going to do a brief course on song basics of like song structure. Usually songs are written, you'll have a chorus, verse, bridge, and then a last chorus. So usually you get about 3 choruses per song. That's the standard structure. Sometimes you'll start with a verse, then chorus, verse, chorus, something in the middle, and then another last chorus. What Lil Nas X is doing, which is kind of genius, honestly, is he's only doing the chorus twice. So what that means is we're so used to hearing a chorus 3 times, sometimes even 4 times, that you hear it twice and you're like, I got to hear it again. I got to hear it one more time because now it's in my head. So you hit repeat and boom. Then by, 45 seconds in, you've already listened to half the song and he's getting 2 plays versus 1 play. It's pretty genius.
How do you think Spotify should approach this problem?
I think how they're going to have to approach it is probably pay by how much you listen to, or at least factor that in, possibly. I'm not quite sure, because if you paid by how much listened to, maybe artists would just start creating ridiculously long songs. They're going to have to figure it out some way. Who knows if they ever will tackle it, or if they'll just keep, doing what it is, because the problem is it's not very front-facing with the consumers caring about it. It's more the industry who's having to deal with this.
Would you see them doing like percentage of the song listened to, or just like overall time? Like, oh, I listened to Kanye for 8 minutes. That should be the same amount of revenue as listening to Lil Nas X for 8 minutes.
Well, I think they should possibly do it how I think YouTube Premium works, where, if you pay $9.99 a month for YouTube Premium or whatever it is now, and, say you watch, 1% of your watch time goes to Jenna Marbles, and, 5% of it goes to Philip DeFranco. And
90% goes to digital tech reviews and tips.
Yep, exactly. Or our podcast. You just leave it playing on our podcast. Oh no, we're not monetized on YouTube. Never mind. But anyways, if you do that, that's going to break down your $9.99 and send them up to those. Well, actually, I think YouTube gets a percentage of that. But whatever the percentage that's supposed to go to the creators, it will be divvied up by your watch time, not just by how many videos you watched.
That's brilliant. I really like that solution. So basically, you have your 100% of money that you're giving to creators, and whatever time allocation you have per creator is how that money is distributed.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see if Spotify ever comes around on that or something like that. It'll be interesting to see.
How does Apple Music handle something like this?
Well, I think they're all paid very similar to that. They might pay slightly more or less, but it's all kind of a similar style. So that's just this is an effect we're seeing of the streaming age and of the playlist age, they call it, where people, rather than going searching out songs and artists, are just putting on, all right, let me put on the hip hop playlist or chill hits playlist and playing through. And if you hear a song that you like you hear one song like Lil Nas X has a song called Panini. Only has 2 choruses in it. And I listened to it for the first time yesterday. And by the end, I was like, hey, Panini, don't you be a meanie. It's a stupid, stupid song lyrically and everything in it, but it gets stuck in your head. And you're like, I got to hear it one more time because I need that chorus that 3rd time. So, yeah, that's my rant for today. Honestly, not much of a rant and more of just a like, this is something happening. But let's get back to travel tech.
So, yeah, you're listening to all these songs. You're now having ethical questions about how artists are being paid. But what, Gabe, what are you listening to your songs with on the plane? How are you blocking out everything else that's going around
blocking
you?
Out all that Spotify paying and all the dirtiness of the world and all the hate and everything?
Yeah, how do you like what are you traveling with? What are you using to enjoy your audio content?
I put a paper bag on my head. I find that helps pretty good.
So is that wireless? Is that wired?
It's a Bluetooth paper bag, rechargeable, lasts for a full lifetime until it gets wet. Yeah, no, I think the go-to for me, I gotta say, Bose headphones or possibly a Sony headphone are for over-ear headphones.
Yeah, so I was doing a little bit of thinking on this. First of all, as someone dreaming of the Bose 700 wireless headphones, yeah, getting a nice pair of premium active noise canceling headphones is really going to change the game when you travel. Your movies on...
Wait, rewind. Active noise canceling. You want to go deeper there for people?
Did I say that?
Yeah, no, okay, all right, I'll go deeper there since you're completely lost.
Okay, you want an explanation.
Well, yeah, there's a difference between a lot of headphones will say noise canceling. What you want to make sure for at least flying on planes and stuff is that it says active noise canceling, because headphones are basically naturally passive noise canceling in that the design of the headphones themselves will block out some sound, but active noise canceling basically means it has a set of microphones that will listen to the sounds that are happening outside of you and around your environment and will pipe in the opposite wavelength of those sounds so that it's actually canceling out those frequencies.
Gabe, thank you for that marvelous explanation. Yeah. This bottom line means...
Golden shopping cart?
Yeah.
Worthy? Possibly.
It's wheeling towards Gabe right now. He can feel it. He's a shopping cart magnet.
Thank you. That's my 14th one, I think. So
this means when you're traveling on the airplane, instead of hearing that monotonous hum of the engine and that kid crying back there, you slip these headphones on.
Silence. Beautiful. Well, your music. Let me take you down to Old Town Road.
Or your infotainment system.
Hi, welcome to the Digital Tech Reviews and Tips podcast. Wait, no, Pinch the Zoom podcast.
Gabe's starting another podcast.
Oh, no. Yeah, sorry. Bye, Stetson. I totally agree. It does really help quiet down, the surrounding noise and get rid of that droning sound. It's especially for that. It doesn't really do much to block out, the kind of more incidental sounds and sporadic noises. But it's better for car rides where you have that constant noise, and it'll just block it out. It's supposedly not actually the best for if you really care about audio quality, turn off the noise canceling because it is piping in frequencies that aren't in the song, to cancel out the sounds that's around your environment. So just a tip there if you really care about hearing the best audio quality. But yeah, they're game changers.
I will add that sometimes some people do experience a headache when using active noise canceling headphones. But either way, you can just turn that feature off, and they're normal headphones that have great audio quality.
I actually, that's a good thing you mentioned that, because I had a pair of Plantronics headphones that were noise canceling or active noise canceling before. I switched to the Bose QC35-2, and I never had an issue with them. So I think it might be how the different brands implement it. It might be a personal thing. One brand is better for you, one brand's not. But yeah. Sony's right now one of the better ones, and also Bose. But there's also Beats by Dre. They have their own noise canceling ones, JBL, and I think there's a couple more ones. But
try them out if you can. I would say get what's comfortable, because you're gonna want to be able to wear these for a longer duration of time, and get what's gonna work for you.
Yeah, and you're looking cost wise, most likely. I would always tell people when I was working at the Best Buy, you're not going to get an active noise canceling over-ear headphone for anything under really $150.
This is true. And I will add, on my trip, we went on tours, and there were supplemental audio guides that would go along with the tour. So we went on a tour boat in Stockholm, and they gave out really low quality, dirt cheap headphones so you could plug in and listen to the tour. I would recommend just bringing a nicer pair of regular wired earbuds. And this will be great. You can, have the comfort of your own earbuds, and you'll get better audio quality and, just a better experience when you're listening to information on tours or in a museum or anything like that.
Well, I think here's the now question. Okay, so yeah, you might be listening to your smartphone, but what if you want to watch a movie?
Where are we? Are we on a plane? Are we
on a plane, on a car, somewhere not, let's say they don't, a lot of them have infotainment systems built in, but let's say you want to watch your own thing. What do you suggest? Like, do I bring an iPad if I'm already bringing a computer, or a tablet if I'm already bringing a computer? Do I not bring a computer and just bring a tablet? What's the solution, Stetson? Help me. I need some help.
Gabe, I think we both know you bring everything. You bring your iPad. You bring your friend's iPad.
But we're talking about. I do. I steal someone from something from the seat next to me. But
you just pile it on.
I bring a broken one just for fun.
In all seriousness, here's what I think. I had to take my computer and my iPad because I needed my computer to do actual work. However, we talked about iOS 13 in one of our previous podcast episodes. Apple is making iOS 13 on the iPad. It's giving it its own operating system, iPad OS, going to be significantly more robust. And my take, when iOS 13 rolls out, you will just need an iPad while traveling. You can use that for all your entertainment, for movies, for reading books.
Well, I think we're grossly neglecting and grossly showing our depth and just submersion in the Apple ecosystem by not even talking about perhaps Microsoft, their tablets.
Microsoft has tablets.
Yeah, possibly the Microsoft Surface, very big tablet, very popular. If anything, revolutionized the whole tablet and computer game, and now Apple's just merely putting a polish on it in their typical Apple fashion.
Yeah, so I guess I was talking about my travel experiences as the shopping cart gets closer and closer to Gabe.
Well, no, I think it is good. I mean, hearing the personal thing, but just for people, if you do have, a Lenovo Yoga Book, or one of those Windows tablets, or even the Chrome tablets, which actually looks like are kind of getting discontinued by Google. Yikes! But yeah, either way, it really depends on the work you're going to do, how long you're going to be there. But it's getting closer and closer to a tablet could be the only thing you bring with on your trip.
Here's my take, I guess. Regardless of which device or which platform you have, I think to get real work done, you need a keyboard. And you also need a device that's capable of running the applications you need. For me, Adobe released a fantastic Lightroom application for iPad. I had an adapter. I could import my photos with an SD card, make my edits, share them on social. I have the case so I can have a keyboard and type. And it's great for movies as well. So I think you want something that can accommodate the tablet form factor because it'll be thinner, it'll be lighter, and it'll be more versatile while you're traveling.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, look for a case that if it's the Peak Design one, for example, just to go back to that, they have one that's a 13-inch messenger bag and a 15-inch. So if you have a 15-inch computer, obviously get that one. If you have a 13-inch or smaller, get that one. And you'll find similar things with other bags from other companies. They're marketed with how big their carrying size is for the laptop sleeve.
Absolutely. And Gabe, I remember hearing...
Pick me. One more thing I have.
Okay, Gabe,
yes, I have a question.
I see, hand up. Is that a question, a comment, a concern?
Yeah, comment. I would also like to say, while we're on kind of computer area, storage area, get an SSD card for travel. If you're at all worried...
Yes.
Yeah, if you're a creator, someone taking photos, videos while you travel, it's not, you might not really need to back up your card. You might have a, 128 gigabyte, 256 gigabyte. But say, for example, God forbid, your camera got stolen, got lost, you dropped it over the railing into the Niagara Falls, for example. No. I didn't do that, but I know people have probably most definitely done that. It would really be a shame if all of your pictures that you'd taken up to that point were also lost. So it's a good idea generally to back up your stuff as you go. If you don't want to have to bring a computer to hook up the SSD card to, I know companies like Western Digital and Seagate, I'm pretty sure, make drives that actually are wireless and so you can connect a phone to them, and also you can take your SSD card out, plug it in, and it just makes a backup of it immediately. So you don't have to bring a computer, just take your SSD or SD card out of your computer, or micro SD card out of your GoPro or whatever, plug it in at the end of the day, it'll back it up, and then you're good to go to wipe it for the next day.
This is a great advice. I brought my Samsung T3 with me, and that worked out really well. And, I was able to, like I said, import everything to my iPad. Gabe, I know you use at least one cloud service for storage. Is that a viable option while you're traveling?
It's really, it depends. I mean, it's pretty nice to be able to, put it on your computer or put it on your, tablet and back it up to the cloud. However, I find it sometimes unreliable because you don't necessarily know how good your Wi-Fi is going to be. So especially if you're dealing with video files and you're like, oh, I have, 30 minutes worth of drone 4K footage. Yeah, your Wi-Fi at a hotel might not be able to handle that. I mean, it's slowly getting better, but it's easier to be able to back it up directly to a hard drive. And then, okay, maybe you have a couple files you want to throw in the cloud just for extra safekeeping. You can do that as well.
Those are good tips. I think one of the last things that I was interested in, Gabe, when you travel, we're on our devices a lot. Do you ever do any reading?
No. What's reading?
Like, you're thumbing through like Reddit or Twitter. You see the words on the screen and then they hit your eye.
What are words?
Gabe, what?
You mean like if I'm reading like B, it's like I see a B, and then I see B hap, I see the haptic feed. I don't know. I was trying to do like pictographs, but yeah, no, I totally get it. No, I don't really do much reading. I mean, other than browse. Okay, wow, okay, that was a joke, and we left that bit behind. That failed. But no, I don't. I don't do much reading other than like social media and maybe occasionally articles. Are you like reading, Apple Books or something like that?
Yeah, I was wondering. So this trip, I did two things. One, I brought an actual book. Gasps.
What?
Exactly.
Is it written on stone? Stone
pages,
tablet?
paper, papyrus? Oh God, not papyrus. The font. Anyway, I brought an actual book.
Gosh. Yeah.
And I purchased a book on Apple iBooks so I could read it on my iPad. Thought I would give it a try, compare them. I have some thoughts. Thought one, books, first of all, loaded with great information, no ads, which is super nice. I forget that, after spending so many time reading online articles. Like, oh my God, ads. Anyway, books, a lot of great high quality information. And I would say I actually really enjoyed reading on the iPad. I love it because it's portable and thin. It's got a retina display, so the text is crisp and sharp.
Do you hate staring at that backlit display, though?
I do. That's the thing. So I love how a book is simply a book, and it's not a screen I'm staring at.
What about a Kindle?
That's the other. Gabe, do you read on a Kindle? Do you have a Kindle?
I do not have a Kindle. I don't really read. I was actually going to say Audible is a good thing. Not a sponsor, but
Gabe, quickly tell us about Audible.
You can do a free trial every year with them. So I'm using my yearly free trial of Audible and getting 2 free audiobooks. And yeah, just listening to 2 books while I, work or while I'm, driving, something like that. It's nice because you can feel like you're getting something done and reading a book, but you're not actually having to read, which is something I can't do. I never learned to read.
Cries. So that's a great idea too. I'm from this experience, my takeaway is I'm deeply intrigued with electronic readers because of the form factor and portability. And, I feel like if a device is going to get me to read, I think that's a huge positive because I think there's a lot of great information in books. I personally have forgotten that.
Wow, that is a hot take. Did you just say there's a lot of information in books?
Yeah, I can say it again in case you missed it.
This was just real. I don't think anyone's ever thought that on the history of the earth. That is a brand new thing.
Back to e-readers.
Sorry.
Yeah, the iPad worked. My eyes definitely felt strained after staring at it from watching like 6 hours worth of movies and then YouTube videos. And then, staring
your eyes
at
feel
the
like they just want to crawl out of your head and like take a nap. somewhere.
Yeah. Staring at the music videos in Spotify because apparently it's now a video service.
Oh, of course.
And then reading, it was a lot. So I was looking at Kindles. You can get them they start at $90 for the quote unquote all new Kindle. Go up to $130 for the Kindle Paperwhite. You can get the Paperwhite for $160 if you want to jump the storage capacity from 8 gigs to 32 gigs. And this was interesting. Amazon is coming out with the Kindle Oasis 8 gigs for
color shifts, right?
Yeah, so this basically takes Apple's color shift display technology. It will automatically adjust the white balance of the display based on where you're reading, and starts at $250, goes to $280 for 32 gigs, coming out July 24th, and it's water resistant, 2 meters at 60 minutes, which is IPX.
Well, I mean, I know that's good for me because I usually do a lot of my reading underwater. So yeah, that's going to be a lot better than books.
I mean, Gabe, do you think this might work for you? Do you think you'll return to reading?
No. And anyways, if I do, the main reason I read is so I can not be on electronic device and yeah, Kindles, unfortunately, even though it's a lot nicer on your eyes than LCD or OLED screen, still ultimately an electronic device. I would rather have that paper tactile feel. So yeah.
Good thoughts.
Wrapping this up, what do you think is the one essential item for you while traveling?
I think the one essential item is gonna be the
not counting the bag. The bag is gonna be
that's a given. You need you're gonna walk into the airport with an arm
holding all your stuff in your arms,
armful of laundry. Imagine just going through security. Yeah, I'll just like dump this here.
Like a professor in a rush carrying all their papers loose to class and just flying everywhere.
I think my one essential. It's hard. I'm going to go with the external battery bank. I
hate you. That was mine. I will come up with something new. Keep talking. I'll come up with something new.
Okay, I'll stall. Give Gabe a little time. So the external battery bank, why? I didn't bring a European adapter. Couldn't plug in any of my electronics. External battery bank had at least 2 full charge cycles for my phone. I could use it conservatively, still get that juice. It drains so fast when you're using Google Maps to navigate, when you're out taking pictures all the time. I really think if you're doing traveling, this is the accessory to get. It's a great gift idea. And, Gabe talked about Anchor, RAV Power. They have many different options for different capacities. And, you can now get some that actually have multiple USB ports. You can charge multiple devices at the same time. I think they're really great. That's my essential. Like, you can have a garbage backpack, you can have a low quality camera, but at least your device is going to be charged, and you're going to be able to use the apps and services you need while you're traveling.
I would go a similar route. I thought hard, and yeah, headphones are nice, and it's like stuff like that. But really, I think when you're on the go, yeah, an external battery pack is the one thing. Also, an extra cable or two, or an extra USB adapter. You never know, you never know when you're going to be able to charge. You never know what's the charging situation going to be like. You might have to charge 2 devices at once quickly. So always just having a little extra, ability to, all right, can I plug this device in here, this device in here? Maybe your room only has one outlet and it's on the ceiling. And you have to you never know what it's going to be. I've seen some crazy charging situations. So yeah, you bring all your devices, and unfortunately, if you have even the newest gear, they're going to run out of batteries eventually. So unless you develop an arc reactor like Tony Stark that can run on nuclear power and be powered forever, yeah, bring all the charging gear you need. Don't skimp on that, and that's where I would leave it.
I like that. I guess. I would add, many people are taking photos on their phones. I would consider a point and shoot. I think you'll really see improved image quality, especially if you're going to be making a photo book or something like that. Something to consider.
Yeah, go 1-inch sensor, though, if you're going to go point and shoot. Otherwise, it's pointless.
Boom, boom, boom.
Thank you very much. Thank
and
you
the
very
shopping
much.
cart has been awarded to you,
Yeah,
Gabe
there we go.
Shakur.
Oh, here it is.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Crowd goes wild.
Honestly, I don't even know where to put it right now. Having 14 full-size golden shopping carts, it's kind of running out of room in my house, but
You'll think of something.
It's a problem you got to have when you're this good at podcasting and giving people good advice on consumer spending and technology.
Speaking of good podcasting, if you'd like to listen to any of our other episodes, you can find us at Pinch to Zoom. Social media, check us out at Pinch to Zoom Podcast and at Pinch to Zoom Pod on Instagram, Twitter. On Twitter.
Yeah. And also Gmail. If you want to email us a question, we're probably going to do another listener question or WayTac. What is it? We answer your tech questions. One of those episodes coming up. So send in your tech questions. We'll answer them. That's kind of what the name means. And otherwise, if you did enjoy this podcast, make sure you're subscribed if you aren't already, but that doesn't really matter. You can find us at any time. But pass it on to a friend who might be interested in technology. And yeah, have them give us a listen.
That wraps up this episode. Thank you for listening. I'm Stetson.
And I'm Gabe.
And we'll talk to you next time.
What?
We'll talk to you next time. Was that not a good outro?
Are we going to talk to them? We're not really talking to them. We're talking to each other.
We're talking at them? We're talking to each other.
Is there another them in this podcast that you didn't tell me about, Stetson?
Oh my God. Yes, we have there's another Stetson, right?
Yes, another Stetson there is.